Ethan, if you were to take one thing away from what your father has taught you, what would it be? Rest of your life, one principle.
Well, I think one thing I can definitely tell you is how to treat women correctly. Um, I've always I've seen on social media like some really terrible people out there and like how they treat women, and no matter what women really do, no matter how much they deserve it, I would never ever 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 hit a woman or put my hands on a woman. I will always treat them like with respect, but I won't spoil them because that means they'll rely on like money on me, and they'll rely on and they'll probably get annoyed with like how I spoil them, and like so I kind of just right now I'm in a pretty good situation with my relationship with my current girlfriend, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and he's always been there to help me. Like, you don't want to bombard her with your love and affection. You don't want to you want to have good communication skills. You want to have like you want to be empathetic, but you also want to. It's better if you just listen than try to give her advice whenever she's in her lowest moments. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I've learned is how to treat women. So I think that's definitely one thing. There's a lot of things that we've been taught. So I think women is a pretty good one right
Yeah,
now.
that's probably the toughest one to figure out.
Okay.
That's so when I started the first business that I tried to start was I would interview nursing home residents or these older people
That sounds amazing.
and get their life story. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, seriously, like getting the stories from people. Like, I think they're the most fascinating people to talk to.
I
'Cause,
mean,
they've lived, so long. They've got so much life experience. That's really cool.
that's right. The village
Yeah.
elders,
Yeah.
and they've experienced so much different context in this world. And so, one of the and then you pass it down to their family. And one of the questions that I would ask them is a similar question of what did your children learn for me, or what was most important to teach them? And almost every time it was show your children that you love your wife, or show your children that you love your husband. So how do you do that? How do you see that playing out in this household, Ethan? And Larry, maybe how did you put intention into showing your children that you love your wife? Because I know you do.
I do. And I would actually love to talk about a lesson that I taught Ethan and just about relationships today. And it came off the cuff of me having a bad moment and me being angry and me not showing up very, very well at all. But I'll answer that question first. Like, so when it comes to, I think a lot of people are triggered by what I'm about to say. And that is, you're married first, you're a parent second. And a lot of people are like, no, 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 it's all about the kids. And I think if you really peel back the onion layers, and if it's really, really all about the kids, then what better gift to show them than to show them what a functional marriage looks like? Because we don't have to look too far to see that marriage, I mean, the divorce rate is almost 51% now. But the crazy thing is that people don't know is that only about 12% of people that get married can actually identify their relationship as happy, as it's good. People that stay married, 88% of people that stay married are somewhat disconnected, settled, or completely and totally emotionally, physically disconnected. And I think that that's a real miss, because like, I will tell you this, like, I grew up in a really crazy, chaotic environment. My mom was married 3 times. She unfortunately suffered from alcoholism herself. She always was with a guy who was a partier, abuser, an alcoholic, guy who did drugs, and I'll tell you, I mean, that was, seeing that growing up was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But I did have like this amazing grandfather. And the one gift that my grandfather taught me was how to love a woman, like how to love your wife. And what's really fascinating? He was so effective. He was a blue collar guy. Like, he drove an 18-wheeler truck for 42 years, I think. That he had so much grit. He was a masculine man. He was a good man. And he was one of those guys that when you were in a room with him and it was full of people, you felt like you were the only person in the room. He just had so much genuine charisma and empathy, but he never tried for it. He just was that. But like, that guy would like literally sit at the breakfast table or the dinner table every morning, and he would look at his wife and he would be like, I love you. I just love you. You're so beautiful. And like, he would do that all the time. He'd hug my grandmother, kiss her, all these things. And I remember seeing that. And there was a part of me, like when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and the feeling that I got watching that was just utter safety. I would just sit back and be like, wow, like just think being in a room like that where there was like that kind of love versus the chaos that I was experiencing at home was a gift. And I just wanted to give that gift to my kids. But going back to like I think relationship dynamic. I mean, one thing that's awesome about Ethan, he is one of the most observant, empathetic people that I've ever met, and he's 19 years old. And he's sees people, and he can tell if someone's going through something hard, or they're upset, or they're whatever. And Ethan is also one of those people that he doesn't really want people unhappy. He wants the best for them, which I think is a really cool human dynamic. So one of the things that happened this morning was like I got really pissed off because our dog decided to eat like half his bed, and he's probably like he ingested like all this stuffing, and he's hacking all over. So we're going on spring break tomorrow. I'm like, oh my God, like great timing. Like, so now I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go or whatever. So I'm like kind of upset about that. The dog might have to have exploratory surgery. No idea. But I was frustrated this morning, and I was like, ugh. He noticed that. And he sent me this text that was incredible. And he said, hey, Dad, like, I just want to check in with you. You doing okay? You seemed upset this morning. I don't want you to be angry. I don't want our spring break to start off like this. I don't want a bad weekend. Like, whatever it takes. Basically, the text was, whatever it takes to make you feel better, I'm here for it. And I have to tell you, man, that was a beautiful, beautiful text, because like that's the kind of heart that he has. But I also think as a father, like you got to praise for things like that. But I also have to I gave him a warning. And the warning was, dude, first of all, it was praise. Like, dude, thank you for checking in on me. Like, that is so empathetic. That is so giving, so selfless, so generous, so observant, right? And thank you for checking in on me. You need to do that. However, let's not take this too far. There's a lesson here. People pleasers and people who are, fall into codependent relationships are so attached to what their partner or their friend or their significant other is feeling, they just want to fix it. And they'll do anything to fix it, even if it goes somewhat against like who they are. Like, I just want to make you happy. I just want to, whatever it is you're going through, I just want to make sure you're good. And the lesson I shared with him is it's really okay to just allow people to process through their stuff, because the more that we invest ourselves into somebody else's emotional experience and we want to fix it, the more dangerous that relationship could become, because then it becomes a people-pleasing sort of codependent, Dr. Robert Glover, no more Mr. Nice Guy type of guy. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's detrimental to a relationship. So what I shared with him was, dude, thank you for checking in on me. That's great. But please don't feel the responsibility to fix it. And I told him, I was like, give me a minute. I went to the gym. I went to the sauna. I'll be fine. I'll be goofy. I'll be funny. I just need to process through this for a minute and I'll be good. But like, I think that's a lesson that we could teach our kids. And I think that's a lesson that isn't on our radar, but when it pops up, man, we can tackle it. So
why do you think you are that way, Ethan? What makes you empathetic? What makes you want to make sure people are okay?
So I've always like even when I was young, I've always been told I'm a very empathetic person.
Very much.
I can because I'm not I don't go through some people's horrible situations, but I want to be there for them. I want to also give them their space if they really need it. Like sometimes whenever my friends or my girlfriend or even you, they're just I don't need your help right now. Just let me process this. I'm like, all right, I'll back up. I'll take a few steps back. I'll let you do what you need to do. Come to me whenever you need me. But I've always just grown up empathetic, and I want to help people. Before we started this, I wanted to help people as my job. That's why I want to be a firefighter. But I hate seeing people upset. I hate seeing people angry. It's kind of heartbreaking, and I'm gonna tell you this.
I think I know what's coming. Some toughness.
I wanted to say coming home to this environment that you've created between you and Mom, and the relationship you have with all of us, me and Mason, Austin, Colton. It's so welcoming and peaceful. I want to be home, and whenever I can see there's a disturbance. This morning, I was
I don't want to be here.
I don't know if I want to like. I kind
Yeah.
of want to just step out, but you already like went to the gym. I was like, I just need to get my routine done. I'm not gonna try to think about it, but I don't want this to continue. That's why I checked in on you. It's like I don't want
Appreciate
to go
that.
through this. I will be honest. It did make me a little upset to see you that way. I
Yeah.
don't like seeing you that way. I wanted to like kind of blow up on you and be like, Dad, I don't want to see you like this. You better change your freaking attitude. But I wasn't gonna do that. I just wanted to see like, please, like,
Yeah. No.
what can I do to like help you
Right.
if there's any help you need. I want to like make sure that we'll be okay during spring break. I don't want to start off in a with like a negative, like something negative that happened. But I just that's kind of like why I'm so empathetic. I love seeing people happy, and like whenever I see my friends like happy with their girlfriends
Yeah.
or their family, it's just like, man, it's so cool to see because a lot of my friends don't have both their parents, like they have divorced parents, or one of them's just not in the picture anymore. And I just like whenever I can see them happy, even though they're not in the picture, it's like, man, they're so happy. It makes me so happy to see that. Like,
Hmm.
I just hate seeing people upset. That's kind of the overall aspect.
There's a theme of stability in here, and maybe Larry, I'll ask you, like, why is stability so important to a household? Why is it so important?
Well, I so appreciate you saying that we provide a peaceful home, because I'll tell you, man, that is not the way I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way I grew up. I grew up, and I'll tell you exactly why I told you what I told you this morning. So I grew up in a very unpredictable environment where like I didn't want to be at home. I spent when I was Ethan's age or even Mason's age, I spent as much time spending the night at friends' houses as I possibly could. I barely went home. I remember being like 15, 16 years old, staying at my friend Joe's house, Joe Palk, back in North County, man, like for 4 and 5 nights in a row. And I'd have to call mom and be like, hey, do you mind if I spend the night again? And I think she knew that I just didn't want to be there. And at the time she was living with this boyfriend who was like, oh my God, this guy was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And I never wanted to be home because it was never warm. It was never safe. There was always drinking and screaming and yelling and just the craziest stuff. I'll never forget waking up at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Something, it was in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it was, but I remember hearing like this loud yelling. And I got up and I saw my mom's boyfriend at the bottom of our basement stairs, face down. He had fallen all the way and he was yelling for someone to help him. Like that was all the time, like crap like that. This is disgusting. I don't even know if you know this. I'll never forget my mom having a party and she had all these friends over. And I don't even know what time it was, but there was one guy there that was so drunk, and he was there with my mom's cousin because that was his significant other. This guy was so drunk that he crawled into bed with me on top of me naked because he thought I was her. And I was like, what in God's name are you doing?
You told me that.
Yeah, I flew out of bed. I pushed this dude off me. I'm like, what the hell? So anyway, it's really, really important for me to do that. And I will say this, when can I cuss on this?
Oh yeah.
When shit was hitting the fan at my house, I did exactly what Ethan did. I'd be like, oh my God, whatever I can do to calm people down, to make this house happy, to make my mom happy, so she's not mad, so the boyfriend or the dad is not mad, or this is not, like, I just want peace. And I'll do anything it takes, anything to make everyone else happy so we can be happy. And when I saw your text this morning, I was like, I know where this comes from. Like, and granted, it's not probably as severe, but like, I know where this is coming from. And I also know that I took that into my dating relationships. I just want to make her happy. If she's happy, we'll be happy. Happy wife, happy life. If she's happy, we're good. And that's so dangerous. It needs to be mutual. Like, you can't, that is not going to be a functional relationship. So that's why I told you that this morning, because like, if I could do anything over with my childhood, and I think that we're just sort of, we grow up in an environment where we react to it. We just don't know any better. But if I could have taught myself one lesson, it was like, you people go process through your own dysfunctional stuff or your own emotions or whatever this is that's going on here. I'm going to go do this over here. I'll check in on you. Is everybody good? Okay, well, I'm just going to go over do this over here.
What if they don't?
What if they don't?
What if they don't?
What if they don't what?
Don't process through it.
Well, a lot of times it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was just like it was like just, it felt like an existence of chaos. That's really what it felt like constantly. It never went away. Like, you know, for a second, like I would say what you like me getting upset this morning and like you reacting to that because I'm in your environment and there's stress and chaos in your environment, right? And I would say that probably happens. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm just gonna guess, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I would say that's 5 to 10% of the time in our house. I would say I went through a really bad, like 6 months though, about 6 months ago, where it was more often. It was probably more like 50% of the time. Years before that though, it wasn't like that. But I did go through a season where we were just like so freaking busy and crazy in this house, like with 4 kids, 4 activities, just mad chaos going on. I was more angry than normal, but I will tell you that that is not the norm in our house, or at least I try not for it to be. But the way I grew up, that was the norm. That was the 80-20. It was 80% dysfunctional, 20% somewhat functional. And I would like to think it's flip-flopped in here, or I hope so. I don't know.
No, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, sure, you have your moments. I think we all have our moments, but it's like this whole week, like I've noticed you've been a lot happier lately. Like you and I have had some goofy
Oh, we've
moments.
had some crazy fun moments, yeah.
But yeah, like ever since like December ended,
Yeah.
I think it's been a lot better.
I agree.
Especially since my wrestling season's over. Especially.
Yeah.
But I think all of us together since like even with Colton's like hockey, like it's over with now.
Yeah.
Now all you have to worry about is I think Lawson's
I
football.
think we have one kid in one sport, which is absolutely, I feel like we're on vacation. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So ever since like
Yeah.
winter pretty much ended, it's been like
Yeah.
a lot happier environment. Like we've all been happier. It's been less chaotic, less stressful. And yeah, I think I would agree with what you said. It's definitely flip flopped compared to
good.
your home.
I'm glad to hear that.